Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Sachin Karnik here from the Angel Wing LLC. Nice to see all of you. This is our week number 4, and we are progressing nicely on this path towards balancing our lives. So along those lines, we are continuing today. This is, of course, our regular disclaimer statement, and that's it. All these slides are available now on the website. So you just go to angelwing.com, theangelwing.com. You can find all the information there. Please remember to bring with you during each session 2 notebooks, an envelope, 1 3x5 card, and we'll get started now with our grounding meditation exercise.
Sometimes the mind can feel like a pack of wild horses, jumping around from past to present to future, refusing to sit still. And like a pack of wild horses, trying to force the mind to be still just doesn't work. The horses are wild in nature after all. But with practice and time, we can train the mind to be aware of when it's galloping in all directions. And we can guide it back to the present moment, the kind and friendly hand. So let's see if we can practice taming the mind by taking a few mindful deep breaths. Wherever you are now, get comfortable. Eyes can be open or closed, and perhaps relaxing the shoulders. And now, taking a deep breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Noticing what thought or sensation the mind is chasing after. And again, just gently taking another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One last time, breathing in and breathing out. Similar to the wild horses, over time, the mind can become more tame, more calm, and may even start to enjoy more moments of stillness. Remember to just keep practicing.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So to continue from last week, just a quick review of a couple of things. Hopefully you did the homework exercise of awareness of memory. And just to get this process started, I've asked you to read that sentence that you wrote down before having each meal. And then this will be available for you later on, but these are some approaches for a deeper comprehension of the concept of memory. And we're going to get into this in more detail later on. But just to keep in mind a couple of things, that memory is the ability to store and retrieve information in our brain. We have a lot of memory. Lots of things are inside our mind. So to be able to retrieve that information in the right way, how to not be trapped in that, these are some of the most important ideas that we'll be going over as we move along. And again, just a question: did you do the homework? So this was one of the homeworks was about really finishing some of these blank sentences and doing some exercises that we talked about reading the central concept. The central concept is broken down into 7 points. We're going to look at point number 4 today, and that is simply that steps can be taken to reduce and eliminate unnecessary energy dissipation. Do you agree with this? This is just a verbal exercise. You may agree, you may disagree, partially agree, you're not sure, you don't understand. Just kind of look inside yourself and see, is that something that you feel is true? That steps can be taken in our lives to reduce and eliminate unnecessary energy dissipation. Our entire program is based on this concept of realizing energy flow, how it moves, in which way it moves, and then to change it and to prevent unnecessary dissipation, right? So this is something to look at today, and this is what we'll be looking at. So what I'd like you to do is to open workbook number 1, please, and put today's date on top, and then write the sentence in yellow that you see. Don't write anything else yet. Sentence in yellow is, steps can be taken to reduce and eliminate unnecessary energy dissipation. Give you a moment to do that. It's good to write things your own handwriting. So today, for the next half hour, this is what we're going to be looking at. What are these steps? What can be possibly done here to better internalize this idea? So steps can be taken to reduce and eliminate unnecessary energy dissipation. Please write that down. If at any point, if you feel that I'm going too fast, just unmute yourself and say, hey, Sachin, slow down a bit, take a little break, and we'll slow down. Not to worry. So we have 13 people logged on right now, which is good. And so please don't worry about interrupting me if you need to, but please do hold off on any questions until 9 o'clock so that we can get through the hour. Then we'll go into a nice Q&A and contemplation session afterwards. Okay, so hopefully you've written this down. Now, before writing anything else down, I'm going to present this idea here that practicing mindfulness and staying in the present moment can help reduce mental energy dissipation by focusing on the task at hand. This concept is really, really straightforward. Whatever task we're doing that is to be done, like right now I'm giving this presentation, my attention needs to be here. Through cooking, for example, keep your attention on the cooking. If you're driving a car, keep your attention there. We do other things also, simultaneously maybe, but keep attention on the task at hand. So what I'd like you to do in workbook number 1, just write down these 2 things. Mindfulness equals focusing on task at hand. Just write that much down. Don't write the whole sentence. You can write more notes later on if you want to. I'm going to write some bullet points here. So make that into a bullet point. Mindfulness is a big thing to understand, but in most straightforward way, what's the thing that I'm doing now? What is the task at hand now? And what does that do? That helps our energy flow. It reduces mental energy dissipation. It's actually doing this that allows. We want to understand this, and then we're going to practice doing it in the subsequent weeks, this week also. All right. The next bullet point is about the fact that mental energy can be used efficiently. So write this down. I will use my mental energy efficiently. You can write it some other way if you want. Mental energy efficiency. You can write that if you want. It's the efficient use of mental energy. And now, what is it that we're trying to do? We're trying to reduce and eliminate energy dissipation, unnecessary energy dissipation. Like it's our internal bank account. We don't want to waste it. Just like if you have millions of dollars in the bank account, you don't want to waste that. It's just like that. Or even whatever money we have in the bank account, that's a financial example. So that's a bullet point here, that efficient use of mental energy. So that's the next bullet point. Next bullet point is about this, and we can put it in any which way we want. Practicing mindfulness can improve decision-making skills as it helps all of us to stay calm and focused under pressure, preventing impulsive choices, right? So mindfulness equals improved decision-making. Write that down. right? And then you can also write down that better decision making equals preventing impulsivity. You can write it any way you want, but this is the link. Right? So when we are making decisions, we need to be really steady in making decisions. That's why the meditation exercises are very important. Plus, keeping attention to the way we are using energy in each dimension, because decisions are made hour to hour in our lives. Right? So we want to prevent impulsive choices because they may feel good at the time, but they create a lot of potential damage and difficulty. So you can put that any way you want. The next bullet point is on this point that mindfulness encourages self-awareness, helping us to recognize and manage emotions, leading to better mental energy management. This is a key point. Write this down as a point. Mental energy management equals better quality emotion. Our emotions are very much part of our life. Yeah, we do think a lot in cognition, but emotion is, like we're there with it all the time. So we want to manage mental energy, our psychological energy. And that will improve the experience of the emotions we have. Very powerful idea. Write it the way you want. Just a couple of words is fine. You don't need to write the whole sentence down. Just want to get this process really started now. We're in week number 4, so that we
Can
can.
you re-say that last sentence?
Yeah, sure. Sure. The idea is that mental energy management means we are aware of how much energy, in what way are we actually uh, using it through in terms of our day-to-day exercises, in terms of our day-to-day activity. So when we are aware of that self-awareness of my power is going, it's going here in this way, in this way, in this way, we can better manage emotions, meaning our emotions are going to gain good quality energy by doing that. So for example, if I start worrying about something which I know that I shouldn't be worrying about, I start thinking about something that happened 5 years ago, and I start running with that in my mind because of some reason, I'm draining my time, energy, everything, and that's going to damage the way my emotions flow. That's what that means. And so I'm just giving it in a brief way. We can have long conversations about this, no problem at all, and we should have them. Right? So please do make notes and please ask questions about how to do this exactly. But we want to understand the concept first, that just like we have a bank account that we're managing with interest and spending and expenses or withdrawals are coming out, just like that, there's a bank account inside. This is our energy bank account. And we have to manage it, actively, directly manage it. And once we do that, our emotions are going to be of a much better quality, much better quality. And as a result of that, our thoughts will be better. Everything will be better once our emotions are better, because we feel them directly. Other things like memories or even energy flow and all that is sometimes difficult to understand. But the emotional space is not difficult to understand at all, because we feel, all of us do. That's what that point means. And remember, this is not a one-shot thing. These are ideas that we are going to together meditate on, contemplate on, reflect upon. So it's not the quantity of material that is being covered. It's the quality of internalization. How much is internalized? What is the quality of that? All right. Here's the next point. You just don't write anything yet. I'm going to go over this first. That is that setting clear goals and priorities can help prevent unnecessary inner energy loss by giving you a sense of purpose and direction. We've already talked about this in terms of the Google Calendar, but to put goals and priorities, that what is necessary to be done. This is very practical. This is those 2 dimensions about the long-term vision of one's life and also setting goals. So there's 2 dimensions that talk about this, right? So when we set goals and priorities, we are unburdening our mind, because we already have so many goals and priorities. It's not like we don't have them, but they're rolling around. Oh, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. That kind of confusion is there. We don't want that confusion. So in workbook 1, to continue in the next bullet point for today is have clear goals. Clear goals equals clear roadmap. You can write just a couple of words with an equal sign any way you want. No, you can write it any way you want. Put an equal sign in between and put words on both sides of the equal sign. Clear goals equals roadmap. Make it simple. Don't make it complicated at all. Write it down. Right? Clear goals equals better focus. Clear goals equals less distraction. Write it the way you want. It's perfect. I'm giving you some suggestions here. And this is about application. Our program is 100% application. It's not just ideas. This is not just a presentation or some kind of a seminar. That's not what this is. All of us, we are here to apply, including me, starting with me. All application-based program, completely. So the application for something like that is very straightforward. We need to be clear about our goals before we can have clear goals. Right? So you can write this down as a next bullet point. I must be clear about my goals. Write that down, please. We cannot have clear goals until we are clear about our goals. This is where the trouble is generally. We're not clear what we want. We want so many mixed up things. It's just not, it's all, hodgepodge. Get it all cleaned up. Right? So these are notes to keep as we move ahead week to week. The next point here. A sense of purpose motivates all of us to work efficiently, conserving mental energy for tasks that align with our goals. So this is very easy to understand this thing. Once we have a motivation, meaning the sense of purpose, okay, I have a clear sense of intrinsic purpose. So what I'd like you to write down as the next bullet point is I'm going to identify my intrinsic motivation. You can just put intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation equals aligning with goals or equals conserving mental energy. Intrinsic motivation, write those two words down. Then you can put an equal sign and put whatever you want after that. Any of those other words in that bullet number 2. Intrinsic means what? It's coming from inside, not because somebody's telling me. No, I have my intrinsic motivation towards the goals I'm going to reach. A lot of satisfaction and happiness. So a sense of purpose is what motivates. So without having a purpose, why am I doing what I'm doing? If I don't have that sense of purpose, there will not be intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the best type. So that's the next point. All right. Next point here is to set priorities. Easy stuff, right? But we want to do this actually. Prioritizing tasks helps us manage time better, reducing stress and keeping mental energy focused on what matters most. Priority setting. Obviously, Google Calendar is one way to do that. Take some time to reflect on all the 12 dimensions of what's a priority, what's not a priority, and then schedule things where they need to be, set clear tasks to do specific actions to take to manage time better. And once we are clear about where we're headed, then stress is reduced naturally. Stress is reduced. Stress is increased by holding so much in our mind. You want to put it on
Is it
paper.
honey? Which one?
Somebody wanted to say
I didn't put
something.
them in there.
I would ask everyone to please just mute yourself if you don't mind. I don't know who that was exactly. If you have a more detailed questions, please wait until 9 p.m. for that. Very good. Next point here. This is a very practical thing to do. Taking short breaths, breaks. So there's two things here. There's breathing and there's taking breaks. Taking short breaks throughout the day to practice deep breathing that can help reduce stress and conserve mental energy. Taking steady, deep breath in. Practicing conscious breathing, taking deep breath in and releasing. So deep breathing helps slow down the heart rate, relaxes muscles, leads to a calmer state. It's just simple, deep breathing. But to do it consciously. How often? You can do it every hour. When we do a movement break or walking break, practice deep breathing at that time. You can set up a reminder on your phone. If you have an Alexa device, a lot of people have Alexa devices. You can just set it up on that. There's a lot of ways of doing it, right? So what does it do? It allows us to recharge. So next bullet point is take short breaks and breathe deeply. So write that down, please. This is an idea to practice. To do this consciously, to do it deliberately. So what I'd like you to do this week, and you can just put this down in your notes as homework. This is a homework assignment, is to do this on a regular basis throughout the day. Maybe you do it every hour, every 2 hours, maybe 3 times a day. You can do it at any interval you want, but set an interval. I would say do it maybe 4 times a day, and just set it up as a reminder on your phone or on your Alexa device or on your calendar. There's a lot of places where electronically this can be done, right? So this is a homework exercise. This is your first homework exercise for this week, is to do this, is to deliberately take full inward breath and release it slowly, and do it 5 times or do it 11 times. Start with a smaller amount, maybe 3 to 5 times is fine. Do it deliberately. Right, so the next bullet point here is the second one. Short breaks equals brain recharge. That's what it is. We don't take short breaks. We are so consumed with whatever we're doing that we are not allowing our energies to really flow properly. Right? So taking short breaks to recharge and movement breaks, which we're going to do in a little while here. In about 9 minutes, we're going to do a movement break. What does that do? That allows us to be more productive. These are all practical, simple things to do. There's nothing at all difficult about any of it. We see how powerful it can be. The third point here is that regularly practicing deep breathing can improve overall mental well-being, leading to better management of energy. Yes, we understand that concept, right? So we want to be regular. Right now, we just want to start the process tomorrow, maybe even this evening. Start the process. This is your first homework assignment for this week. That is to take conscious breath, maybe 3 or 4 times during the waking time, while we're awake. So do that. Please do that and put that in your workbook number 1 as a homework assignment. Circle it or make a nice color around it or highlight it or something like that, and actually do it and see the power of it and see what it feels like, and then we'll process it. Okay. Next point here. Just don't write anything yet. Let's understand this first. Limiting exposure to negative information and focusing on positive aspects of life can help prevent mental energy from being wasted on unproductive thoughts. We all know this. This is not some earth-shattering new idea. Who doesn't know this? Everybody knows this. But this week, we're going to work on this point. This is your second homework assignment. So what is this second homework assignment? Just write this down. Homework assignment 2, or H2, limit exposure to negative information. Write that point down. That's the second. That's negative information from the news, from people, from videos, from anywhere. It doesn't matter. Because we are bombarded by negative information. Sometimes people are on they're watching these shows on various cable shows, same news, same problems, regurgitating again and again and again. Is that really necessary? You got to ask yourself what that's doing to our mental energy. So this week, limit exposure to negative information. You're going to get some exposure. We all are going to get some. We want to limit it. So this is what we want to do. And then when we do that, at the same time, focus on positive aspects. Now, there's 3 bullet points here on this, and that's your second homework assignment for all of us this week. So before you write this down, let's understand it. Constant exposure to negative information can increase stress and anxiety, making it harder to concentrate and draining mental energy. We don't want to drain that mental energy. So, negative information, exposure to negative information causes this draining of problems. So write this as a bullet point, that exposure to negative information equals draining mental energy. To really see the truth of that. Because the more we keep draining this, the more trouble is. So we don't want to be overexposed to negative information. We're going to be exposed to it to some extent. So that's one bullet point. Second bullet point is based on what's written there. Focusing on positive aspects helps improve mood and outlook in life. Deliberately place focus on positive thinking, positive outlook, right? So the second bullet point could be positive as focus on the positive. Just write that much. That's good enough. Focus on the positive. That has everything in that. And then the third point here, by surrounding oneself with, with positive influences, one maintains a healthier mindset, prevents unnecessary energy loss and negative thinking. Negative thinking it drains energy, tremendous amounts of it, lots of it. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to surround ourselves with positive influence by changing the environment, changing the stimuli that will reset our internal energy flow. Right? So what is the bullet point there? No, surround myself with positive influences, positive people, positive thinking, positivity. Right? So this is consciously doing this. We all know this. Everybody knows. We keep talking about this. We want to do this as our assignment number 2, to actually do this. Very, very simple. Keep it very simple. Don't complicate any of this. There's nothing complicated about this. Keep it as applicable and as simple as it can be. And that's what it is. Okay. Next point here is about sleep. You all know this. Again, nothing earth-shattering. It's very, very clear. Establishing a regular sleep schedule and getting enough rest can conserve mental energy. Obviously, if our mind is well rested, then we're in good shape, right? So get good quality sleep. Just write that down. And that's our third homework assignment this week. Third homework assignment is to get really best quality sleep. That means not oversleeping, not undersleeping, not sleeping with tension. There's a lot involved in that. We're going to talk about that later on in a lot of depth. We're just getting this process started. So a regular sleep schedule is very good, which also has to do with exercise, which also has to do with diet, amount of activity throughout the day. Then only good quality sleep actually occurs. Quick 3 bullet points on this one. That regular sleep improves natural circadian rhythm. So you can write that the way you want. You can just say that regular sleep equals better circadian rhythm. So the circadian rhythm is the cycle. It's the overall body's natural cycle, right? So and we feel refreshed. And this is the point. When we wake up, that's our barometer. If we feel refreshed when we wake up, that means that things are pretty well balanced, that our sleep cycle and our daytime waking activity, everything is in the right place where it needs to be, or it's getting to that point at least. That's that feeling of being refreshed. That's a direct barometer. Okay, next point here is that getting enough rest allows the brain to recharge and process information from the day. Yes, of course. So write this down. Getting rest equals brain recharge. Now, rest is not laziness. Rest is not just not wanting to do anything. No, that's not rest. Rest is a state when we have been active, very nicely active, and then there's a real need for just rest, for the body needs to literally lie down for 4 or 5 hours or whatever period of time to gain the rest and rejuvenate itself nicely. That is rest, not the carrying over of tensions and agitations into the nighttime. And we're just carrying over agitations to the nighttime. So we don't want that to happen, right? Keep it simple. And of course, this is the point I was just making. The third one, a well-rested mind is more focused and alert, allowing all of us to use mental energy efficiently and effectively throughout the day. It feeds on each other. Good quality sleep at night. This is our third homework assignment. That is to get the best quality sleep deliberately. Like Sachin has to say, and all of you have to say, and can say, I am going to get best quality sleep, which means I'm going to be active in the right way throughout the whole day with enough exercise and movement and with good quality work that I'm doing and all that kind of stuff, that the breathing that I'm going to do, all of that is going to do what? It's going to allow me to hit the pillow at nighttime with really just a wonderful feeling and with a real need to lie down. Not lying down with a lot of tension and agitation and whatnot. This is our goal. We just take it one day at a time. Very simple, very easy to understand. there's another important point is about the physical part of this, right? So engaging in physical activities, exercise, sports, that all those things reduces mental fatigue and releases endorphins, right? That these are natural mood elevators. So just write this down. Next bullet point is regular exercise, regular movement. Maybe if you don't want to use the word exercise, whatever type of medically okay movement that is available for you to do that. But many times we know that we need to do more movement, physical movement. We don't want to do it, right? So, or we're not doing it. So we want to start this process. This is homework exercise number 4. So there's 3 bullet points here to write down. First bullet point is physical activity equals endorphins. Endorphins are going to increase. They're going to improve our mindset. So we want to do this. We're going to do this by increasing a little bit from whatever we are, just increase it a little bit. Or if you're doing really great, then that's fine. But most people probably are not. So increase the physical activity. This is bullet point. Next bullet point is exercise equals clear mind. Exercise is going to affect the mind. Better focus on tasks, better attitude, all that. So very practical, very doable. And third point is participating in sports or physical activity. What does it do? It just promotes healthier lifestyle. So this will become part of one's lifestyle. So that's the overarching idea. So physical activity equals, we can say, promotes healthier lifestyle. Easy. We know this. This is nothing we don't know. Application is where the trouble is. So we want to, this week, one day at a time, we want to apply. And a little bit at a time, but systematically. Best way to do this is to put it in the calendar. At this time, I'm going to do this, it's going to be done. The more it is scheduled, the more it is organized, the more organized we're going to be. So we don't have to hold everything in our head. We have it all scheduled. So we'll skip this one for now because we'll cover that later on sometime. And we'll do a quick movement break. I'm going to try to stick to time here.
I'm so glad you're joining us for a quick movement break. You should aim to integrate movement into your workday at least every 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting time. Doing so can reduce your risk of weight gain, high blood pressure, and obesity. Let's get started. Begin by standing. Root both feet into the ground. Take a great big inhale and reach both hands high above your head. On your exhale, goalpost the arms and lift the chest, finding a baby back bend. Back bends can quickly boost your energy levels and help to refocus your mind when dealing with stress. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lift the chest and goalpost the arms. Place your hands down by your side. Now bring your right knee up to your chest. Try to balance here as long as you can. Feel the stretch in the back of your leg and lower back. Now slowly bring your foot back behind you and pull it towards your glutes, stretching through the front of your hips. You may want to hold on to something in order to help keep your balance. Let's switch to the other side. Bring your left knee up to your chest. Try to balance here as long as you can. Feel the stretch in the back of your leg and lower back. Now slowly bring your foot back behind you, pull it towards your glutes, stretching through the front of your hips. Bring both feet back together. Next, bend your arms by your side and begin to twist right and left, opening up into your sides and spine. You can leave your arms bent or straighten them out depending on the space you have available. Twisting the spine back and forth can help relieve any tension in the lower back from sitting. Lastly, place your feet about hips distance. Then place your hands onto your hips. Take an inhale and lift the chest up, and exhale, slowly beginning to lower the chest down. As you begin to fold forward, bend the knees to begin lengthening through the hamstrings until your chest touches the tops of your thighs. You can dangle your arms down towards the floor or grab onto your elbows. Stay here to continue lengthening through the spine, or you can sway side to side. Bring the hands back to your hips, and on your next inhale, slowly begin to rise up. Head comes up last. Great work on integrating this quick physical activity break into your busy day. Setting a reminder on your phone or computer can help you remember to fit in regular breaks. Breaks don't have to take up too much of your time and can be effective with just a few short minutes. Low-intensity activities such as standing can be just as beneficial as walking. We encourage you to take a stand against sitting.
Okay, all right, welcome back. What I'd like you to do now is to open workbook number 2, please. And after doing so, please put today's date on workbook number 2. There's a couple of things that I just want to make sure you're aware of. I am in the process of creating these audio recordings that will give guidance on how to increase the numbers you have given for all the 12 dimensions. I'm still editing some of the last recordings on this. There's a bunch more to do. I think I've done about 13 or 14 recordings on this so far. They are on the website. They are on the Spotify channel. They're accessible through WhatsApp. They're accessible through the, if you just go to the Angel Wing website, you can click right into the pop-up box and then just X out the pop-up box. It'll take you straight to the file section where all of this information is available. So just a quick review. Please understand that these 12 dimensions are our life. This is our life. We need to approach this very sequentially and carefully. To start out the process in the last 3 weeks, I've asked you to give a rating from 0 to 10, the way you feel it is conceptualized. To give the right number that's right for you. You know, and for example, if Sachin gives a 7 or an 8 for dimension 1, and somebody else gives a 7 or an 8, that means a different thing to each person. This is your own rating. This is not like a standard rating that somebody else is giving. You're giving it to yourself based on your perception of that dimension. All right, so if you need more individualized guidance on that, just let me know, contact me or let me know, and we can set up a one-on-one conversation, which I've already done with several people, and that can clear up any doubts or any confusion about this. So please don't hesitate to do that. All right, just a quick reminder of several things to keep in mind here, that all 12 are interlinked, interlocked, interdependent. I want you to write that down, please. In workbook number 2, I want you to write this down, that 12 dimensions are, interlinked, interlocked, interdependent. That's what they are. No, they do not exist completely separately from each other, although we need to think of them separately for the purpose of communication and activities. They are all together. They are interlinked, interlocked, and interdependent. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter who I am, doesn't matter who anybody is. Every human being has these 12 in some way or another. Or they're developing those 12 in some way or another. All right, so having said that, they only function because of core energy, which is our root power in the brain, in the spinal cord, in our body, in our mind. There's only one energy flowing through all these different parts of the body, the mind, and in different ways. Like right now, Sachin is speaking, energy is being used by the brain, by the vocal cords, by the tongue, by the throat. Energy is being used. It's being used by the body in a particular way using certain organs. It's like that. So it's the same energy. There's no two energies, actually. It's only one. Just like the electric current coming into our home and coming through the breaker box, and then it splits into all these different places. That's why we have all those breakers. So it's these 12 dimensions or something like that, like those breakers, let's say. Right? So they all are on. If you turn off one of the breakers, then there's no energy going over there at all. So it's just like that, just like electricity coming, from into the main breaker box, and there's like one big switch. You can shut all the electricity off. You can shut off the breakers one at a time, like that. And then once the breakers are all on, then it goes and the electricity is now showing up in the light bulb and in the microwave and oven and in the computer. In thousands of different ways it shows up. Right, based on the instrument. Similarly, that's the same thing is true with the 12 dimensions. the 12 areas of our life, that same power is being shown up in relationships and in mental activity and physical activity and in finances and in career and everything, recreation, all of that. Same concept. So the analogy of the breaker box at home, electricity flowing through the breaker box and then going throughout the home, throughout the apartment, throughout the house. That same analogy can be used for the energies that are inside our mind, inside our bodies. One core energy. This is the basic idea. All right. Now this week, this is just some past stuff about the ratings. You know how to do those ratings. So let's move on for a moment here. But I want to get to, okay, so these general guidelines, yes. So I want to talk just a little bit about career today. So what I'd like you to do is in workbook number 2, I want you to write down 1-career, okay? And how to increase that. So there's some general guidelines here, but I want you to write a couple of things down. One is under career, make a couple of bullet points. The first bullet point is pursue opportunities. Find out what is the next opportunity. So many times an opportunity shows up, we don't pursue it. So there's many ways of going about that. Opportunities for what? For growth and skill development. To grow in one's career. Is it possible? Certainly. And if you're retired, that's also okay. There's ways of growing still based on the past career. So is it possible to develop one's skills further? Yes, definitely. One has to see where all that lies, actually. Again, these slides will be available to you, but for the purpose of our online workshop, next bullet point, would like you to write down, attend one of these, workshop, seminar, or conference in your field. If you are retired, you can do it in some other way. Try to attend. There's a lot of free material available on YouTube also. You don't necessarily have to even pay for it. There's thousands of workshops and seminars that are freely available, even by the universities. If you need information on that, I can give that to you also. So this is not a homework assignment right now. We just want to understand this. So I want you to just understand this week. Second point is, if we are in a work environment, probably this is happening in supervision, but seek feedback from others so that we can better grow based on that feedback. And third possibility is to pursue certifications or continuing education. So the homework assignment for you is to answer the following question, and write that down in workbook number 2 in bold letters, homework assignment this week. And that is, what is my next step in career? What is my next thing that I need to do? What is the next development in my career? You can put that question where you want. What do I need to do now to enhance my career? Or career enhancement, question marks. Put 3 question marks after. Right? That's a question. What needs to be done? So I want you to answer this question. This is your homework assignment number 4 this week. It's the 4th homework assignment. This is on the career dimension. So every week we're going to have a particular exercise to do and an assignment to do for each dimension. And it's going to have pretty much similar question. What specifically do I need to do? Someone said to me recently they had like 10 points for one of these dimensions. Fine, write them all down, sequentially go through them, keep the other dimensions where they are. You're not working on them necessarily, but you're still living through them. It's okay. You cannot, it's difficult to work on all of them. You cannot do that. So you want to go step by step with them. Don't want to get overwhelmed by this. You want to keep it really simple, right? So we're taking weekly steps here. What is my next development? Maybe you're a student and that's the main thing that you're working on. Maybe you're a student and having a job. So there's an educational aspect, there's a career aspect, right? So then that connects with other dimensions also, right? So you can put the dimensions of your life the way you understand them and I'm happy to talk to you about it individually if you want me to. Now, these are all additional dimensions. These slides are going to be available for you. We're not going to go through these right now. I put them in here for your own reference, which you can look at later on. See, this is a general idea, and in workbook number 2, I'd like you to write this down, SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Don't write all this stuff on the screen. I just want you to put S.M.A.R.T. Most of you may have heard about this before, but specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. So when you make a goal, maybe for dimension 1, for finance or for career or for anything, you make a goal, keep it specific. Make sure the goal is specific. It can't be something like, well, Sachin is saying, yeah, I need to, exercise some more, or I need to do this. Just a general idea, kind of like a fuzzy type of a statement. No, that may be a beginning. That's not a smart plan. Make it clear, define it clearly, use precise language. You can go back and review these slides, because remember one thing, this is only an hour a week, right? I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one to examine these ideas further. But to do this, actually, when you have a goal, keep it specific, keep it clear, measurable, that by this time, this is going to be done. There's lots of measurable activities that can be done to reach a goal. Like take the exercise example, I can say I'm going to exercise 45 minutes every single day. No matter what happens at this time, I'm going to have, like that. That's measurable. Clear, quantifiable metrics. Define benchmarks for success. We're going to talk much more about this in the subsequent weeks, but this is how we start the process of getting these numbers moving further up. Right? So whatever goals we have in the 12 areas, maybe it's about recreation, maybe it's about about family time or better quality communication, wherever the deficiency may be, we know that there's a deficiency by our experience. Pinpoint that and start working on it right away. Don't get overwhelmed by the deficiency. Start working on it, a little bit at a time. Process-oriented mindset. So I want you to write something else down here. In addition to the SMART bullet point, SMART, and you can make more notes on this later on in your workbook too, because these slides will be available for you. I want you to write this down, and you heard it before, process-oriented mindset. We want to move out of the results-centric mindset. There's two mindsets. The SMART plan is going to be successful when we transition into a process-oriented mindset. That means what? Of course, we have goals in our mind, but to reach those goals, what is to be done now? What in the next hour to hour, taking all the right steps, and then eventually that goal will it'll come into the present. And that's a very joyful way, without exhausting our internal energy, to keep progressing towards that goal, versus a results-centric mindset. And if you remember this point, we discussed this during the second retreat, and one of our presenters, Mr. Ricky Singh, who was at the second retreat at Killen's Pond, he reached the goal of climbing Mount Everest by this process-oriented mindset. And this idea is very, very fundamental for what we are trying to do in our lives. Right? So that's a process-oriented mindset. Result-centric mindset is what, by the way? It's like, I'm happy once I get, I'm burning up, kind of trying to get to that end. And I'm so exhausted by the time I get there, that I get a jolt of a little bit of pleasure or enjoyment, and then I'm just down again. That's called a results-centric mindset, particularly for bigger goals in life. But it's actually with even small goals, like something simple as keeping the kitchen clean. Sounds nice. How many of our kitchens are actually clean as we want them? Most people will say, no, I can make it a little bit better. I can organize it better. I can clean it more regularly. We don't do that as often. So we shift into a process-oriented mindset. We're in the present. We're taking the right step. We're not just looking for a jolt of pleasure at the end. We're enjoying the journey. That's a process-oriented mindset. We have 10 more minutes, and then because I want to keep the time as much as I can. I'm going to go over this just very quickly. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. The measurable part is easy to understand, right? If you schedule it at a specific time that this is to be done in this way, if you're working on a project, that I'm going to put my energies here, my attention there, and do it. And do it with joy. Perform action with joy, not resistance. So write that down as the next bullet point in workbook 2. These are all notes that are being taken. It's all being recorded, and it'll all be available for you in many, many ways as we move along. Right? Take action with joy, not with resistance. And if you feel resistance, take the steady breaths in, do some meditations. Maybe listen to some nice music that you like, or some devotional music or whatever for a couple of minutes, and get out of that resistance space and move in the right direction. Now, if you feel you're having difficulty dealing with the resistance, still take the right action and the resistance will eventually disappear. So rather than trying to remove the resistance, by taking the right actions, the resistance will automatically dissipate. Eventually, you'll see that it's a process to go through. Make sure that the goals are achievable, something realistic. Don't put lofty goals that are just impossible to achieve. Right? Then relevant. They have to have relevance. This is a key point. It has to have relevance in all 12 dimensions. Now, if I start improving my physical health, is it relevant in the other 12? Yes. Then I can do better things in all the other areas of my life also. Very simple example. But they have to align with overall objectives. High impact activity, that the impact is much bigger even with a smaller action. It has to do with relevance. And again, as I mentioned to you before, I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one to clarify these ideas further and how they're applicable maybe in your situation. It's not difficult. Sometimes you can wind up spending many weeks trying to, understand these things when just a 10-minute conversation can clarify. And then time bound, clear time deadline. At this time, this is going to be done. At this time, this is done. And this is how we actually open up the joy of action. So write this down next, that actions taken day to day, they are taken in what way? They are taken through, of course, establishing clear deadlines and all that, but they're taken with joy. They're taken with happiness. They're taken with enjoyment, that the action is enjoyable. Like, for example, right now, Sachin started this presentation, at 8 p.m. It's almost 8:53 right now. I don't know how the time went by. It's a lot of tremendous joy and it's a blessing for me. That's the way I look at it. I feel that. Oh, that's fantastic. But if I had another result-centric thing, well, I can't wait till this is done. This is just, what a waste of time. If I had this kind of negative thinking, I'm just doing it just to do it or whatever. You see, then that loses its real intrinsic power. Intrinsic power is lost when we do not perform action with joy. Another way to put that, performing action with joy, through its intrinsic value and benefit, that opens up even more joy. And then that has a reverberating effect, particularly as we're doing this as a group. These are all ideas for contemplation, further and further contemplation. All right, let's move on further. Okay, so these are just some additional things here. You can look at that in the slides later on. We have quantum transformation principle number this week. So please take out your 3x5 card and just put on there QTP number 4. That is empathy and compassion. Write that on the top of the 3x5 card. And we have, of course, a more technical definition. You don't need to write this down. You can if you want. If you're more inclined to doing this, you can. But what I'd like you to write down, I'm not going to go through this with you right now, but what I do want you to write down is to select just one of these 4 statements, or 2. I put down here 2, but if you want to just write down 1, that's also okay. I would recommend writing down 2 of these. Compassion and empathy means what? Understanding feelings. Compassion and empathy involves recognizing and understanding other people's emotions, allowing us to connect with them on a deeper level. If you feel that resonates with you, you can just write that one down and read that 3 times every single day before having a meal. Second point there is non-judgmental support. When we show empathy and compassion, we offer a safe space for others to express their feelings without fear of being judged or criticized. And then the third point there is kindness and caring. Compassion and empathy encourage us to treat others with kindness and care, even when they are going through difficult times. So when other people are going through difficult times, try to help them out. Be compassionate, be empathetic. Don't try to hurt them further. Right? So emotional intelligence. Fourth point, developing empathy and compassion helps improve our emotional intelligence, which is our ability to manage and understand our own and others' emotions. Simple definition there. That's a good thing. Emotional intelligence, lots of books written on that by multiple people. Strengthening relationships. So practicing empathy and compassion can strengthen our relationships and help us form meaningful connections with friends, family, and peers. So just write one of those down. Maybe two. Two is also good, but one is also enough. You see which one jumps at you. One of these four are going to like say, yeah, okay, I feel that inside of me. I connect with, write that one down. One is okay, no problem. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Give you a moment to do that. And this is your fifth homework assignment. I think I've given you 5 so far to do this. There's 3 from those other exercises. And then there is, there was one before this, and then this is the 5th. I think and then the 6th one is really just reading the central concept one time before going to bed every day. And please remember, as you're going through this, there are going to be places where you're feeling stuck. You're not sure. I strongly recommend having a one-on-one conversation with me if you would like. I'm happy to do that about application of these ideas. It's not a counseling session. It's not a therapy session. It's just a clear way to show the application. Whatever may be going on, you don't even have to describe it in your own, like personally. If you have a question about it, please do ask it. That will cut through a lot of stuff that may take many weeks to cut through. So that's that. So I hope you've written one of these sentences down here. And this is our 3x5 card. You already have this written down. Please read this one time every day.
Not enough time to copy the other stuff.
Oh, let's go back. Okay, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Good. Yeah, just let me know, because I go a little fast, so just slow me down, no problem. Take your time with this, please. And again, on your own, after this is done today, this is available as a PDF. You can look at these slides, meditate on them, contemplate them, see the application, try to see where is my application. I have Sachin has to see for Sachin, you have to see for you. Application, ounce of practice is worth more than tons of theories. You know that, right? Everybody knows that. Lots of ideas are being presented. That's fine. You're writing some things down. That's fine. But it's all application. Doing the regular breathing, moving the body, those kinds of things. Recognizing where energy is being dissipated. Not recognizing that nothing happens without energy flow. So there's a lot of ideas that have been recorded already today, and they'll be available for you in other recordings, also supplementary recordings. So that's that. And if we are ready to move on, let me know if you guys need more time. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next point here. This central concept you already have written down. Read it just one time, or just when you wake up or before going to bed. That's perfectly okay. And the vitamin M envelope, put some money in there every week. You're not sending it to Angel Wing, remember? There's a bigger idea here that will be presented as we move along. Try to put in there $5, $10, $20. Just put it in there every week and don't spend it. Just leave it alone for now. And then that vitamin M concept is going to be presented in much more detail as we move along. And then how it's applied really. But in a nutshell, I can only say this much, that use money as a vitamin, not in a stingy way, but just as we take a vitamin pill, it energizes our physiology, our metabolism. Money can be an energizer for the 12 dimensions. So how to use it that way is the great secret of living a very energetic life with relatively using just using the right amount of money. That's the idea. And we have our closing song. We're quite a bit nicely on time today. Let's listen to this, and then we'll continue after this for our Q&A, more contemplative session, if you want to stay on. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for attending today's workshop. I'm here. Stay on as long as you'd like. Comments, questions, please do ask anything you want. And if you do want to talk to me individually, it'll be confidential, but it's not a counseling session or anything like that. I'm happy to talk to you about, about the application of these ideas, and that can be helpful. So if you want to have a conversation now on anything, please do make your comments or anything you want to ask about, please do so. Thank you all for coming on. Yes.